Hey guys, it's Joel and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'm back today with 5 more things that I hate about my BMW Z4. I've made one of these before, hence 5 more. I'm sure you can work that out. I made one of these about a year ago now. However, after another year of living with this car and using this car daily, I have noticed a few more things which I dislike. Hate is a strong word, but you know, it's the title of a video. So anyway, let's jump straight into it. In fact, just before we jump straight into it, I want to make a small disclaimer. Everything in this video is my opinion, and I realise that some of the points I'm about to make are subjective, meaning that a lot of you will disagree because it's personal taste, and some of those things that I don't like are things that I can actually change. So, I've said it now. Before you comment, make sure you've watched the whole video. But these are just my opinions, and this is purely for your enjoyment and for your informant, for your... I don't know, let's just get on with the video. Okay then, so jumping in the car for the first thing that I hate about my Z4. It's a little bit to do with the ride quality, so let's get on the road and I can demonstrate. That means I just crashed into something, so that's good. Okay. Right, so this terrible off-the-road track gives me a little bit of a talking point. So, essentially, what I hate about this car is its poor ride quality. Now, it must be said that on a smooth road, such as the one we're about to go on now, the ride quality isn't actually that bad. It's, I mean, compared to a new car, it's probably shocking if you got out of a brand new car and got into this. Even on a smooth road, you'd probably think it's quite bad, with a lot of tyre noise, etc, etc. However, for me, I don't think it's actually that bad, and it's perfectly livable. The only thing is that when you get onto a slightly rough road or there's any sort of bumps, it actually hurts. Like, the way this is set up is pretty stiff, on these 3-litre models especially, I think. And it's definitely noticeable. It's a bumpy ride when you're going over a bumpy little. Let's just go. It's not awful, but you know, a big bump can be jarring. That's what I'm trying to say. My suspension probably needs an update, so that won't help. But thought I'd just include it. The ride quality can be very firm and very stiff in an unpleasant way. The second thing that I hate about my Z4, and this is one of the subjective ones, is the wheel gap. As you can see, there is quite a large sort of wheel gap there, and if you look at the car from a different angle, like the back, you'll notice that the bodywork actually overlaps the wheels like this. And again, from this side angle, I just don't like that rear sort of, I don't know, 30%, that arch there, leaving the wheel gap. Of course, I could just get spacers on the car, and you know what, if I actually got bigger wheels, which is something I want to do, that would fix half the problem as well. So I know that spacers and bigger wheels are an easy fix to that. However, it's just something I don't like about the car now. There's obviously nothing wrong with BMW. That's just, personally for me, I don't like that wheel gap. Moving round to the front of the car and under the bonnet now for, look at that block. Do you know what, that's one thing I love, is just, look at the size of that engine. Wicked. Anyway, moving under the hood of the car now, and onto my third thing that I hate about this car. Is it my third thing? It is now. The third thing I hate about my Z4 is the oil consumption and the amount of oil that this thing drinks. It is actually quite remarkable. A lot of you, I have flagged this issue up before in a previous video a while ago, and a lot of you said that my Z4's oil consumption was actually abnormal and it shouldn't be doing that much. However, since that, I've had it checked, as any concerned owner would, and it is actually completely normal. Now, I daily drive this car. I do over 20,000 miles a year in it, And you know, a lot of those miles I'm driving it quite hard because that is how this thing likes to be driven. It's certainly how the engine was built to be driven. So with all that in mind, I actually end up using about 500 millilitres of oil a month, which is quite a lot. I mean, let me know in the comments, guys, what you use on whatever cars you drive. I'm sure it's not the worst out there, but it is pretty bad because it does mean I'm going through one of those 5-litre cartons, you know, fairly regularly, and I'm sharing them with my father as well. So we do go through them pretty quick, but more annoyingly, really, apart from the cost, it's just the constant having to pop the bonnet, top it up, etc, etc. Now, again, not a massive deal, and actually when you think about the cost, I mean, it's 30 quid every 6 months potentially, so not the biggest deal, but you know, it's something to think about. You've got to top up the oil a lot in these things. So then, away from the hood, away from the front of the car, and into the inside now. Now, the fourth thing I hate about the car is to do with the inside. However, it's not about the cup holders. That is one thing I hate about this car. It doesn't have cup holders. However, I do appreciate that it's just not specced on these cars and they are available on these Z4s. But the fourth thing I do hate is actually just the general lack of storage. Again, I'm pretty sure I have talked about this before. I definitely have talked about this before. It may have even been in the last 5 things I hate video. However, you know, I've spent another year with this car now, and that lack of storage has become more apparent, and you know, it's something I can live with. And actually, as you can see, most of my stuff just lives in the footwell, and the boot is very well sized, so I never have a problem carrying any significant stuff. It's just those things like your wallet. I mean, yeah, it fits in there nicely, but you cannot carry anything any more powerful. I mean, a lot of the time I take a battery pack with me, and that doesn't even fit in there. You've got these storage units, this storage unit in here, but I mean, it actually hurts getting your hand in it, and you know, presumably it was designed for CDs because that's where the CD changer is. But yeah, I'd never ever put anything in there. And actually, if I can, let's just adjust this seat. I haven't planned this very well, have I? Hello everyone. One moment. If we look now behind this seat, you can see this cubby hole here, which actually, you know what? No, it's not actually very well sized. Where's a bottle? Let's get a prop. Okay, here's a hat. How about that? Hat, cubby hole. Yeah, you see, it's not. You can't exactly get much in that, can you? And let's face it, when this seat is back, as you will have just seen, I can't even get my hand around there. So again, there's one of these there, and there's one of these behind my seat. However, as you can imagine, I honestly have never used those, because they are just, I think, really inconveniently placed. And when you're driving, you kill yourself trying to get in there. So yeah, there we go. Lack of storage inside the car is the fourth thing I hate about my Z4. Back in the car then, how convenient. Back in the car for point number 5, the fifth thing I hate about my Z4. And this, again, this is a very subjective one. Actually one that's not really, I don't know, I'm going to include it anyway because it is something I've noticed more recently and I've been like, wow, actually that sucks. So it is the ride height, meaning that I'm often blinded by other cars' lights. Now, it does sound really pathetic, and it's like, well, that's nothing wrong with your car, that's because other cars have got brighter lights now. But it does seem to be that in this Z4, the position at least that I sit at and that height just means that like a small SUV sized car coming the other way, its headlights are exactly the height of my eyes. So at best it can be extremely distracted, but sometimes it feels dangerous because I actually cannot see where I'm going sometimes, which obviously isn't ideal if you're driving at night. So yeah, that's it really. At night time on a dark country road coming the other way, a car's lights often blinds me because it's just the way I'm sitting. Yeah, I mean, again, a bit of a nothing point, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, because it's like, well, what can you do about it? I can't really do much about it. And you know, it's a sports car. You buy a sports car, you accept the low ride height. It's not really something you think about, is it? Like, oh, I don't want to buy, you know, I really want that car, right? But I'm a bit worried that I'm going to get blinded by other cars' lights because of the ride. I don't think anyone in the history of the world has ever discounted getting their dream car or a sports car because of the ride height and lights blinding them. That's certainly not something that I would look back on retrospectively and think, you know, I should sell the Z4 because it's dangerous. It's really not that bad. It's just something I've noticed recently. Can be quite distracting and or annoying when you're trying to drive at night. Thank you. He did not like the look of me. Right then, let's pull up, park up and jump out the car because I think that just about concludes this video. So guys, there we have it. There's 5 more things that I hate about my BMW Z4. As I've said already, I use the word hate loosely. It is just the title of the video. All of those things, as you can see, are fairly superficial, and actually the benefits of having this car, as you know, if you know me, far outweigh all of those little things that I hate. So if you do disagree with any of my points, I actually would be very interested to know what they are and what also you think, so leave a comment below. Please, before leaving any comment, just make sure you've watched the whole video, because the amount of times I'm arguing with people about things that I've actually already said in the video, it's ridiculous. So do me the courtesy, please, watch the whole video and then leave a comment. But like I say, if you want to see 5 more things that I love about my Z4, I am very happy to make that video indeed. It could even be my next video if this one gets 100 likes. So I think that's a nice easy target we should be able to hit. If you're not subscribed already, go and subscribe. Follow my Instagram. I'm making daily content on there, which is never making it to YouTube. So go over and subscribe to my Instagram. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon.